So, the Philippines is a country located in Southeast Asia. It is a combination of multiple little islands that are very humid with a tropical climate. I would say the weather is very comparable to Florida's climate as it just rains at any given point throughout the day, whether it's on the forecast or not. Also, when I look down there, they're always experience some type of hurricane. So, for them, hurricane season is every single season. The Philippines was ruled underneath Spain for 300 years, and it's pretty interesting that you can still see the influence of that culture throughout their foods and even in their language. According to Michigan.com, they say that during World War II, the Japanese occupied the country, and in 1946 was when Philippines finally gained their independence. The Filipino culture practices very heavy Christian values. According to asiasociety.org, more than 86% of the population is Roman Catholic. I can speak for my mother and her family that religion is a very important thing in their life, and it is also very important that the kids they raise are raised in a Catholic household. They are very involved in the church, and you can see religion throughout their everyday life. It is also very common for many Filipino households to hold religious objects that show their devotion to the church. I have visited the Philippines 2 times in my life, and each time has left me more culturally shocked than the last. It is a lot different than America in the sense it feels more chaotic. Most of the streets and cities are filled with people at open markets just buying, shopping, or even selling. Their main source of transportation is motorcycles, and because of this, it's just easier to navigate throughout the crowds. The thing that is different though about the Philippines is that there is a lot higher crime. Of course, they don't have as much as a structured type of law enforcement as we do in America, so at times it can be really unsafe for white Americans to travel there as they can be at a higher risk for violent crimes and kidnappings. As a little kid, it was very scary, but in an article by travel.state.gov, they say that terrorists and armed groups have carried out kidnappings, bombings, and other attacks targeting public areas like tourist sites. Food, of course, is one of the best pros to having a Filipino mom. I'm so happy that at a young age I was introduced to more out of the ordinary foods because now I will try just about anything. A favorite dish of mine and all of my friends have been lumpia rolls. There are different variations to this dish, but the way my mom makes it is so simple, and I think that's the best way to make it. It is a lot similar to an egg roll, and what is stuffed inside it usually contains ground beef, potatoes, and carrots. It is then wrapped in a wrap, and then you can either fry it or bake it, and then you can dip it in soy sauce or sweet and sour, so it's pretty much like a smaller egg roll. My mom makes these in such large quantities, but I promise you they will be gone throughout the hour. They will not make it throughout the night. They are so easy to make, so if I had to recommend one dish for the culture, it would definitely be that. When it comes to school, it is set up the same way as America. There are public schools that are funded by the government. Of course, their government is not as rich as ours, so the education quality is quite poor, and the teachers are also poorly paid. I think it was really interesting when I went down there that most of my cousins didn't know how to speak English, and it wasn't like it was still broken, but it was pretty good to the point where I could understand everything that they were saying. Same with my aunts and uncles. And according to Illini's.care.com, they state the school year normally runs June to March or April, and a typical school week is Monday to Friday, so I would say that their school term is pretty much similar to ours. The Filipino culture has had such a big impact in my life in so many ways. My mother being an immigrant to America, she was the only one out of her 4 brothers, 3 sisters, and 2 parents to come to America. I admire her for her hard work and determination to become a US citizen and create a life for me that combines both cultures, American and Filipino. When looking at traditions, I think the one that sticks out to me the most that they are so passionate about is karaoke. They take it so seriously. At any given time will there be a karaoke station set up, and surprisingly, somehow they all have good voices, so it's not terrible to sit through. My mom has been able to connect with so many other Filipinos around the area who share the same story as her. Through this, they have created an association where they practice Filipino traditions, and they also raise money for their families that live back home in the Philippines. These meetings would be held around the holidays like Christmas. There would be food, games, dances that would showcase what life was like for them back home. What I have gathered is that Filipinos, maybe being just a little bit biased, are very grateful for the opportunities that they have gained from coming to America, and they're always wanting to share their wealth and happiness that they have with everyone around them.